It is a party day.
It's Chinese New Year and Mardi Gras.
On the same day?
On the same day.
Yeah.
What day is it?
Today.
Today?
Today.
Oh,
Right
today.
now. Chinese
Okay.
New Year's and Mardi Gras.
Wow.
Usually we do a big Chinese New Year party. We usually do a big Mardi Gras party. I put gumbo and everything else. My dad's from the French Quarters, so most of his family's all over New
All
Orleans.
French.
I've been down there during that time. That's crazy.
Way too many people for me.
From where?
7.
We grew up in
Really?
Not a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's
The history.
showed up.
Oh
it,
gosh.
it's 4 from the building. That's not many.
No, it's not. Next month it should be over there.
Yeah, that's what they said.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna
Okay,
get
let's see if it's
started?
gonna be on there. There you go.
Yeah, birthday shoot is gonna be on.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that good?
I don't know how to touch.
Huh?
Nobody
I
on
wanted to
there
know
yet,
if
right?
there's any Zoom, anybody on there yet.
I don't.
Nobody on there yet, no.
Like I said, our
Of course,
neighbor
we're gonna
Bert said
count
she
them
should
too.
get
Oh,
on.
yeah. I didn't think about that.
Nobody yet. There's a little window coming up under the face.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. I want to thank Helena Housing for bringing refreshments here.
Sheila said she promised last
Yes.
meeting, so I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, we would have hung there, yeah. All right, so first of all, we're going to go ahead and say the Pledge of Allegiance. So the flag is over here, and the sword behind me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yay! I want to let you guys know that last month we did have the RMC meeting over near Stewart Homes, and it was a success. We had, for as many units as Stewart Homes has, they came over. It was wonderful.
Was that last month or the month before?
That was last month.
January? You had it at our,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
That was last
during my
month.
trip, and then in December you did
Yes.
too. I didn't know you did too.
So that was really awesome. I hope that we can continue to do that, going back and forth, I think in my mind, and talking to Heidi, we would love to find a way to have transportation.
Yeah.
Maybe a bus. Yeah, we'll do all the lookup on it. I think that would involve a lot more people, but, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to Michael and let him
Good to
speak.
see everybody. I missed you last month. Hope you're all well. Looks like you've been partying, which is fun. Anyway, just a few things I wanted to bring you up to speed. I did bring for the discussion on elections and stuff. I have your job descriptions and things like that, and I can also go over kind of what's required under the statute for the President Management Council for elections. And it sounds like I think you guys probably have that all covered. Just a few updates, things that we're wrestling with a little bit. You may have seen that in early February, February 4th, I think they finally came up with a budget approved by Congress and signed by the President. That budget did end up cutting public housing operating funding substantially. And that was unfortunate because we received a lot less money than the private landlords and such. And so that's partially the cut in the thing, and then partially because we've actually, if you do well in terms of doing your performance well, it actually costs you in what's called the operating formula, and just the two of them hitting at the same time. So, and it doesn't really appear so much as a cut in the language. You got to know what they're talking about. So they call it a proration, and so the funding, the operating funds, in typical years are 100. Last year was 102% proration. So that means more than, kind of thing. This year it's about an 86% proration. So off the top there's 14%. We were going to experience about the same equal reduction, partially because you get in the formula they count rents paid by tenants, and so tenants are having higher incomes, which is a good thing, and that's to credit us. Unfortunately, not all tenants have been paying the rent, and so they count in terms of calculating the money that they will provide us to help run all the operations. They count the money that we did not receive in rent. In fact, sometimes to collect the rent, it costs us, $5,000 or $10,000 to evict people, and when we still don't get the rent, so it's kind of unfair. And it's a substantial amount, a six-figure amount that was left uncollected, and so we're going to have to be even more, take a lot more efforts to collect rent, because the total reduction is about $300,000 for 2026. Now that's substantial. That ends up being about 30%.
What does that mean? I mean,
what that
your
means
jobs
is that,
at HHA?
no. Well, what that means is that it's the public housing operating fund. So not everybody's job is paid through that, but all of our maintenance and our property managers, and I'm not paid out of that fund, but other people are paid out of that fund. And so yeah, it's not good news, but we maintain reserves so that we can kind of manage it. But what we're going to have to do is make reductions. We're going to try to do that without having any impacts. We'll be leaving positions vacant, things like that. We're looking. There's certain things that can be charged to can be charged reallocated. That we're looking at allocations out of staff, particularly certain staff have been working a lot in the voucher program this year, and so we can pay them out of the voucher program. And there's a lot of different things we'll do, but still, it's not, we're used to kind of them not giving us more money and leaving us flat. So every year when costs go up 5 or 8% and they don't give us any more money, that's an extra. But this year we have that going on, plus are reducing our funding $300,000. So not good news, but you pick yourself up, move ahead, and we'll get through. We try to be prudent and have reserves, and so we do have them. We were going to use them for something entirely different, part of redeveloping everything, so that it's not great news, but we'll get through it. On the housing choice voucher side, the Congress approved a budget that appears to be an increase, about 11% increase in funding, but that really just matches the increase in funding across the cost of housing across the country. And individual housing authorities like HHA are not getting 11% more funds to pay for the HCV program. They're giving us the same funds that they were in the pipeline to start with. On that one, what we were waiting on, we had received promises that we thought they were going to, I think you've heard me talk at length about the fair market rent project that we did, and we wanted to preserve that funds into this year, because they only gave it to us really in July for a whole year. Given this big increase, to get it out the door was very difficult to do. We did not get the language that we were promised by Senator Dane. It didn't happen, and there is some language about what I think achieves about half of what we're asking for. We very aggressively kept leasing up with the concern that if we're leased up, they can't take our money. And there is some language that appears that we will be, the fact that we have tried to lease up a lot of that money. For calendar year 2026, it appears that we need all those funds to cover our vouchers. And so I hopefully will continue to be able to, all together between our local program and state program, we probably are housing about 80 or plus additional households. So that's good news, and we're getting it done, and we're gonna support that. It actually looks like we'll probably overspend those funds, which means we're gonna have to pull out of our reserves there. So it's like, we're trying to do the right thing, but the way the system works is kind of screwy.
Yeah.
I think I talked a little bit about permanent supportive housing and homeless continuing care at various times in October, November. The administration had put out, even though Congress last year had said this would be a 2-year funding cycle and that you would just have automatic renewals, they came up with a what's called a NOFO, where they were basically blowing up a good part of the homeless continuing care program. That was, Congress said, and so they kept to their promise, and so it appears that it's going to be a 2-year renewal. And we do have, if you know folks that are homeless and have a permanent disability, please make sure they get to Good Samaritan or to United Way or for referral through what's called the coordinated entry process, and then we get people a voucher and get them housed. So that looks like that's going to continue to be fun, at least for another year. We've been told we have to expect that they might. It's like a whole idea that people, it's based on our program, which has been in existence since about 1997, is based along the idea that if you get people in the housing, then they can take care of a lot of other things. But if you're on the street, it's really hard to take care of your mental health. You're probably more likely to abuse substances, a lot of kind of stuff going on. So that's where we are with Congress. We have to live with what they give us. We'll be starting on funding for next year. Try to, we didn't really see any increases in funds going to housing. We really are facing one of those periodic times in our history where we are been facing a housing emergency, certainly in Montana, but across the country we've seen in recent years such a rapid increase in the cost of all kinds of housing, and so it's really making it hard. I'm saying there is something coming down the pike. It doesn't look like so much funding, but some good ideas, and it's almost unheard of these days. It's a bipartisan bill that seems to have traction in both the House and the Senate. It's called Road to Home, and there's a whole bunch of pieces to it. Haven't quite heard a full analysis of it and stuff, but it seems to be good news, and for them to be talking about housing, it would be the first kind of bipartisan housing bill in probably about 25 years. So that would be a good thing if that moved forward. So that's where we are with that. Just want to make people aware that in the coming 2 months, we'll be doing our annual plan hearings, including our next RMC meeting. I'll be presenting on the annual plan, and that's a primary purpose for the RMC that we present this, and I'll also be giving the capital plan for 2026, and so we'll talk about that. And then will be another public hearing after the first week of April, and then the Board of Commissioners Act on April 17th. So that will be coming along, but you'll hear all about it in the next RMC meeting. Trying to think anything else going on in the world of HHA. I think we're all pretty good, and it's just nice to see everybody, and I'm open to questions.
Anybody at this time for Michael? Well, pop up if you do. I'll go ahead and go.
Excuse me. What was that program you just mentioned, Road to Home?
Road to Home is the name of a piece of legislation.
Okay.
That's in both the House and in the Senate, and it's bipartisan support.
Okay.
I think in the Senate the primary sponsors were Tim Scott, the Republican senator from South Carolina, and a Democratic senator, Elizabeth Warren, from Massachusetts
Okay.
supporting it. So those two don't generally work together on things. So, but it appears that a lot of senators and Congress people are supporting it. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Mary, you want to go ahead and give your treasury report?
Sure. Our balance as of today in our primary account is $23,309.40. We also have a continuing balance in a secondary account of $665.89. And we will be utilizing some of our budget in the next couple of months for our mailing campaigns for the elections. Any questions? Okay.
All right, we're gonna have Don speak. He has some ideas about how to make our dogs happy.
Well, we brought up one time when Keel was here about dogs. I've been talking with him back and forth. The biggest concern I see with Helena Housing is liability, which I think is bullshit, because they've still got liability with dogs being here. But anyways, I don't see them being hit to want to have a dog run out back to our dogs. There's also a problem with the sprinklers system in the yard. I'm sure that'll come up at some point. So at this point, it's pretty much dead. So unfortunately,
With your conversations with Keela, she kind of said that it's kind of dead?
well, she said that the concerns were the liability on dogs giving other dogs disease, which they're already exposed to disease just by walking around the yard, so that's bullshit. And then you got dogs attacking other dogs. They've already got liability for that now, so I don't see what the difference is, but that's what they're bringing up. So pretty much I've got nothing but resistance about it. They're willing to talk about it, but it's like a wall comes up here and as soon as I talk, I ain't banging my head on the wall, they're not worth it.
By curiosity, Don, the public dog parks, what do they do about liabilities?
I have no idea.
Maybe you should see what they do so we can maybe present to Helena Housing. I mean, it's a
'Cause
thought.
You're saying you want a dog run where dogs would run loose.
Well, you already have part of the fence out in the yard out there in that one corner fence. Yeah.
Can I interrupt?
What's that?
What is the liability on the house side of the?
Well, we have,
Every-
everyone's dog should be on a leash is kind of one of our
Yes,
fundamental
right.
policies. And because unleashed dogs, and not to say that there aren't sometimes unleashed dogs, but that's where you run into problems with dogs. They get aggressive with another dog, or they loose and maybe get excited, they bite other people. And that's where you get issues in terms of.
Right.
Yeah, they have the same issue at the dog park too, but you know what? In the time that I've taken all my dogs there that I've been here, I've only seen one, and that was because the dog was protecting a toy that he thought was his, it wasn't. He only took him out right away, he come back the next week and he was fine. The point being is these dogs, we're supposed to take our dog out into one area to go poop or potty, but yet dogs are like humans, they have to move to do this. We can't just make them do it on their own, And it's like Will's dog, Queenie. They're already getting along. Every dog he's come across has been nothing but kind. Owners know their dogs.
Yeah.
People take their dogs into the dog park knowing their dog's not going to attack another dog. If something comes out, responsible owners take care of it, they take the dog out. You've got part of the fence already there. There's no reason why we can't get donations to get it put up and for the material. The same way you would at a ballpark when you put their fences up. Sections are sponsored by businesses. And the fact that we're a 55 and up disabled building, most people here who have dogs can't get their dogs to the dog park, can you? I mean, most people are, you have a dog.
Yeah, but Gordon takes mine out.
Well, yeah, you take them out, but you guys take them to the dog park.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay, well, okay. But not everybody can.
The dog run, we'd have to see more about that, but generally, but then the other thing it does is it concentrates all the urination and poop all in one section, and it pretty much wipes out that section.
Well, that is true too.
And you end up with just a dirt patch, which is.
Like, I was looking it up, and you would nearly like have to put gravel down
Yeah.
and get donations for that.
Yeah, you can gravel or astroturf.
But-
Well, yeah, you can get fake turf to hold up to that, because
Right.
when you pee through it, when the dogs pee through it, it's a lot easier to pick it up. And if you really did need to clean it up, just take a hose to it.
Well-
How was the dog picking up, the people picking up?
No, but Michael, I've been now to plant sites. It's for,
Yeah. Especially in winter time, people think,
For
there's no magic
maintenance.
about snow and
Yeah.
dog poop.
like,
There are bags, are the bags being kept up in the, we know
Yeah.
we have,
like ours is.
well, not at all scattered sites, but we have new at Seward Homes, we
Yeah.
put some new ones, we got,
People are
staff
still
keeping the
not
dogs.
picking up.
Yeah, I mean, the bags there, that's just, again,
Right.
responsible dog ownership is pretty critical.
Like,
to the whole
it is,
thing.
'cause we
And you know, generally, I mean, I don't know what's happened in recent years, not here, I'm not even talking here, but like when you walk on the trails here in Helena, you're like, come on, people.
Yeah,
pick up after your dog.
it's getting bad, especially when I was looking at certain units at Scar sites. It was like many days will then they have to come in and fix some of yours window because they're digging holes because they're leading their pets out without the owner being outside with them. Paul bring up what happened to us this weekend, but it seems like it's on the tenant's side of things to get it to be more careful with housing saying you have to pick up because like where we live, Troy Court, there's two houses, that are not picking up, but it's so bad over on that corner that we first did we walk around it, you know, and it's like,
Yeah,
come on.
no.
It's unsanitary, that's the
Yeah.
bottom line.
So we use
Unsanitary on the
actually,
property.
And our lawn vendor, but that's not part of our job, and actually our,
Well,
It's
it
not-
ain't your job, it's the tenant's
well,
job.
everyone who has a dog, that's part of the deal, you pick up after animals.
Right,
But,
right.
we can look at different, I mean, people, you know, part of the thing here, I don't know, would people walk across, to a dog run? I mean,
What?
if it's in the corner with it, because a lot of times, what we notice is that, you know, people, especially when, we haven't had a winter yet, it's probably gonna come tonight, so I'm not gonna do it. I mean, is that something people would use?
I think so, I think if we look at each site, and pick out which ones have dogs, I think,
Well, you know, it's kind of like MJ here, she's got a little dog.
right,
She knows what dogs her dog doesn't like. I know what dogs that
So do
she
I.
don't like.
Yeah, so do
My
I.
dogs, I would never let them in.
Yeah, well.
Mine
Never
are-
let them what?
I would never let them in to a dog park because they are aggressive towards other
Right,
dogs. So
but
I would
obviously,
never.
if you're the only one there and somebody comes up.
Oh, yeah.
You would know that, you know, hey, give me 5 minutes, these guys,
Yeah.
you know, whatever, but.
I would see a lot of concentration of dog waste and things that could potentially there. I mean, I think, I don't see if any apartment buildings do that, you know, I didn't see how they manage it. If there's a trick to it, or, you know, is it concrete with a hose, I don't know what people do.
But Don, I'm sorry.
But, yeah, so, but in general, we want, you know, people do have their animals, and we just want, you know, if we can encourage others to pick up after them, because no one wants to be
I
walking.
mean, it's in our leash, you know,
Yeah.
I talked to,
Yeah.
animal control, sites, you know, there's dogs, and it's eating their leaves,
Yeah, no,
breathing
it's,
leaves.
and people get evicted for,
Yeah.
especially if they have a dog and it's out of control, they're not,
Yeah.
people just let them out, not good.
So John, I would call the city and talk to them about their rules, regulations, and how they take care of their dog park. And maybe bring it to the next meeting.
Yeah, I'd have to get hold of the city park.
Yeah.
How they manage that, because I don't know who actually
Well,
controls
That
that.
might be
Yeah.
controlled by Carroll College, since it's part of
so
college.
Heidi, do you think you've kind of already talked about what you wanted to talk about?
No, it's
Oh,
too much.
okay.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm not a dog owner, okay, and I'm listening to everything everybody's saying. And it seems like I get this impression that you would just let your dog go run in the park and that's where they're gonna pee and poop and you're not gonna walk them anymore. Okay, that's how this is coming across.
It's not.
Okay, all right, so my point being is that we're talking about this accumulated waste in the dog part itself.
Right.
Well, you still walk your dog, you still have the bag with you, you're still gonna do that. My idea of the dog run is just to be able to let your dog run without having to be on the leash, right?
Yeah,
Right.
It's
because
not necessarily,
when
this
you
is
use
where you're
dog-
going
it's
to
more
be
for
improved.
exercise.
Yeah, when you use dog and
Yeah.
they can get together.
Exercise.
Because
Yeah.
they're on the
I-
leash.
And I get that, and it sounds like it's a really good idea to be able to just let your dog run a little bit without being worried. And we do have dogs that are outside of our property that come on our properties.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
I've even watched people walk their dog up on the hill over here, bring it down here to poop, and then go back.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So it's not
Yeah.
always just,
You know, you go past the
residents.
fence down there and on the right and the left, that's one big poop pile.
yes.
I don't even like him to go in there because I don't want to walk in there and pick it up. You know, because even when I'm at the park, I pick, I mean, wherever we go, I'm like, oh, bags wherever I go. You know, I mean, it's part of living.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do, yeah.
Yeah, we're always washing them
I mean,
and find them in the
you
washer.
know, at nighttime, you watch the camera, I'll let him out here, but I always check to see if there's other people first. If he's gonna be out there, I'll let him out, I'll chase him and run him a little bit, he'll go do his job, we'll go right back in. You know, it's not like, you know.
It's safe, is what you're
But
saying.
for me, I'm taking responsibility to make sure there's no deer out
Yeah.
there for one. And you don't even bark at deer anymore, you doesn't pay attention to them. And the deer don't pay attention to you.
No, they're used to it, they get used to the deal.
Can I add something that's in our neighborhood? I don't have a dog, but I have a car now, and I almost ran over our neighbor's dog. He had him on a leash that was too long, and he didn't pull him back. And I felt like I was going to run over. And if they're running free, you gotta make sure that they can't jump over whatever fence that you put up.
That's a thing, that's a
Or
thing.
whatever, because I would, and scattered sites, like my neighborhood, there's only 5 buildings. It would be really scary to come out there and have somebody not have their dog on the leash. And there's several dogs there.
I've almost hit.
Well, like, Michael touched.
So that's the whole point of having the fence is.
Yeah, but you gotta have the right kind of fence.
And I think we're talking, all of that is the whole city, you know, dogs everywhere and anywhere. So it's just not HHA, you know, so,
Well, no, I get that, but like I said, we already have half of it up right there.
Mhm.
All they have to do is just take another wall up and go over and boom. I
Well,
mean,
we've got
like-
the
like I
spot up
said,
here in the whole garden that's got all that fencing around it, that's
Well,
just
I
sitting
was
there.
stuck at that.
I've asked about that too, but that's gonna get used in 10 years and 20 years from now. God forbid we use it, but okay. So I understand not wanting to be responsible for any liability,
What?
but how much more liability are you gonna be in the dogs that are already engaged in social activities on the leash? It just
And
makes
there's-
makes it more easier for them to have fun. doing it.
There's always a waiver that everybody with a dog has to sign a waiver that they have to be responsible, blah, blah, blah. They can be sued and so forth. But the question still remains on this property, I would say, in what area you keep referring here to the one by the tunnel, right?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
that one
Okay.
corner that's partially fenced already.
And then somebody mentioned that there are a lot of sprinklers in the ground, so that may be a problem.
I don't
right?
think there's a sprinkler. I watch the sprinklers. I don't think there's a sprinkler in that back corner.
I don't know.
Well, that would be,
I don't think there is.
I don't even think Helena Housing knows where they're at. It took them, what, 3-4 days to turn on running water for an hour every night at midnight. All they had to do was unplug the wire.
Okay, well, Don,
That's that.
your job is to find out from the city what
Yeah, I'll
the
help
whole
you.
rules and
Don't-
everything, and then you can make a presentation.
Well, my understanding.
I'll look at our
is that-
insurance policy too, what our
And that's my
insurance.
question for you is liability for insurance. Does it lie with you guys or does it lie with
I
us?
do, as a dog owner, I do appreciate the joy a dog running free is a different thing than walking it. with a-
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
leash, but,
And I'm not talking about using it just to replace a place for the dog to go. Obviously, dogs are gonna go in there if they're going, you know, but I just see that, you know, Mickey and Adele get together and they're on a leash. Mickey and Little Big get together, they're on a leash. You know, Mickey and Queenie are together, they're on a leash. You know, it's just, you know, and so, but anyways.
Go ahead.
We do have certain neighbors, they don't care enough, but they just let their dogs run out.
Yeah.
And I've almost hit them on numerous occasions. We have called animal control on it, so they may come and talk to us about more proper safety with animals. Another issue that I was gonna bring up, since there is a lot of animal lovers in this room, do you have pet insurance for your pet?
I mean, we do.
We have pet insurance for our cat and dog.
I do. I do.
I mean,
We do.
here's the thing. If your dog runs out or your cat runs out, if it scratches someone, bites someone or anything, who's at fault? You're at fault.
The pet
Thousands
owner,
at
the
fault.
pet owner is,
Thousands
Absolutely.
Yeah.
at fault. We're at fault. We can both be sued. So it's not a win situation.
You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, over at Stewart Homes, Heidi, you've really talked to me about it.
I will.
Well, you did, is that I think housing needs to send out a reminder letter to
I
everyone.
agree with that, Michael. It's got so bad. It's Saturday, we were pulling into Abbey, and one of the units, they're right there by the office. They're
Little
always
dog,
not
yes,
a dog shop. I have called Bethany about it several times. I got tired of it. I called animal control, and that's how I got involved with Officer Skidmore and started talking about what has happened in the last 20 years that I've been here. He said, well, you know, some of the fault is with housing for not telling the tenants. It's in your lease. Follow your lease.
People are well aware.
Right. So I think she's right. I think we set up another to the tenants. You're up for, you know, and we're total time by. You know, I did ask them to
I mean,
patrol
people
the
really
area.
do have to be responsible dog owners for,
yeah.
if they're not, I mean, I always, you know, but, you know, the worst situations people have and will be evicted for having dogs completely, you know.
Aggressive and-
Aggressive.
Everything else.
Right.
The Lord.
Dolores?
On these, you're talking about these dog runs and whatnot, are they gonna be enclosed? Are there gonna be hours put on that? Because, I mean, if they're gonna be open and something, there's dogs from all over this neighborhood vicinity that come down to this place.
Well, you
It
know,
has to
I
be
mean,
locked,
that's
yeah.
a good thought.
Fence.
And I
lock.
think, you know, a whole thing needs to be written up,
Yeah.
you know, kind of following what the city does, rules outside. This area belongs to MEA Anderson, I think that in time, well, it'll all be put together, but yes, I think
What
that's,
about the ones and people that, just let their dogs go run amok out there? And they're not gonna see the rules, they're not gonna hear the news, and they're not gonna hear these people talk.
are you talking about people that live here, or?
No, I'm talking about the people that live in the neighborhood, and this.
Not much we
I see
could
dogs
do.
come running down that hill out there.
Not much we can do on that one.
Okay,
We're not gonna have a guard out there. I don't think there's much can do about it. Just like if you lived in a regular
I'm not talking
neighborhood.
about dogs running loose, I'm talking about dogs in an area that's basically kenneled, where they can be let off the leash and run freely with another dog or by themselves in the way.
Just for
On the
MEA.
other side of it, there are dogs that's out there they just let them out the door, let them go.
There's nothing we can do about it.
What I'm talking.
That's the city's responsibility at that point.
No, we're talking
Well,
about
they're not
our own residents.
Oh,
Sit out here to,
Sorry.
watch over them.
Alright, sorry, we'll get you.
I know that.
Ina?
Well,
Okay.
I just feel that other dogs from the neighborhood that are being let loose isn't gonna affect having a dog run out back, because the dogs are gonna be in the fence anyways. The other dog will have to
So
get
it's
in.
gonna be enclosed.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's
That's
good.
what I'm saying, they're not gonna be adding to the dogs running free.
No.
Yeah. But I did have another question other than the dog run. That area where we used to have the 30-minute parking, is
yes.
that still there?
Right
Along the
outside of
what?
the railing.
Where you put the new
railings?
railings, Michael?
Along the red, that was never 30-minute parking.
There were signs up.
There were signs up.
Along the front of the building?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's, with the fire department, was real clear, very upset.
Okay.
Is that sign still there?
No.
Oh, okay.
They took the sign
They're very
down.
Yeah, good.
Because every time they would come here.
No, you
there-
can't park
there would
there
be
for 30
someone,
minutes.
Someone would be.
You
It's
can't.
unloading, unloading, but
Says who?
They would leave the car.
That's what they
We had people leave a car all
Fire
weekend,
department said,
it's
hell
like,
no.
the police come there, fire comes, and yeah.
Well,
no, it's-
then
they were
report it.
Very unhappy.
It's the law,
So,
but-
if you remember when Lou was here, he talked at length, Lou
They
Anthony,
put the
the
signs
fire
up. This is
marshal,
not
the need to be able to
regulation
get
by law.
a truck right, I mean, that's the reason for fire lanes is so that they can pull
Yeah.
it up.
yes.
You know, if you have to,
Yes.
if you have to call a tow truck to get the car out of there, that's.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
No one has a problem if you stop and unload
All
and
right,
stuff,
well,
you know. but-
I know, Heidi,
I got two.
Well, the only reason I brought it up, the only reason I brought it up is everybody just stops in front of the door now. They just stop in front of the door now, because that's all red right there, and everybody thinks they can't park there. So when they want to unload, they sit there and unload. They go in, they get their cart, they come back, they take their stuff in, they come back. So the car sits here for 5-10 minutes sometimes. So, yeah, I understand that, but there's,
Yeah, no, it's
you're
not
talking
allowed.
disabled people, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I have a wagon.
I
I
said
don't
it
need to
before.
get in the
I was
car.
told I'm
I pull my
wrong.
stuff straight from the car.
I was
and
told
with
by
it.
you to say
But,
I'm wrong when I
you know,
said
we have
this is
buildings
not
for
right.
disabled people. They're not gonna park in the
People
parking
may
spot
like it,
to
but
unload.
it's
Right, no,
not
but
the
they
law.
can, I mean, there is a spot where you, if you just unload, it's, 2-3 minutes, it's people who then leave their car and then go
Well,
have
yeah.
lunch.
Yeah, well, there's people that do that.
Yeah.
But what about having a sign that says fire lane, no parking?
It's all painted, isn't it?
yeah.
That doesn't mean anything to people.
Okay.
I mean, you still got people who pull up because you got that, whatever that is, Idaho truck out there that belongs to a tenant sitting in a parking for visitors. Her and her boyfriend are out there playing demolition derby the other day or other night.
Yeah.
So, you got tenants continuously parking, visitor parking, which makes it impossible for visitors to park. So they park wherever they can close to the building, especially when they're elderly.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
got
just,
a phone for you. I want one.
I'm still here back to the dogs because Mr. O'Neill is here today in our building. There is, it appears that somehow it's getting picked and chosen on who can have a dog on a leash and who doesn't, because we have.
All dogs have to be on a leash.
I know that, but we have a tenant here, and obviously we have cameras, that has the dog continuously in the building, not outside, off the leash, in the elevator. When we had the fire drill, the dog was freaking out, came running downstairs the stairs, you know, while people are trying to get off, and he's been told several times, please put the dog on a leash. And the answer of the gentleman is, yeah. So,
Well, I think we have two people that let the dogs outside.
what are we supposed to do about it?
Just-
That's the
we'll just
question.
Let Jenna know, and then if it's a repeated kind of thing, we will have documented.
Well, it is repeated, so what are we supposed to do?
But as the cameras, what the cameras do is then we can then see, they do it every time they leave.
Yes, they do.
It's a kind of
The
thing.
dog is
But-
never
but
on
just
the
to be clear, we are not watching the cameras all day to see who's walking their dog.
We know that, we know that, but when there is a
But you're worried about
But I
continuous thing.
understand, that this is an important issue, because.
Yeah, it is an
there's
important
dogs
issue. Very important
in the
issue.
building
Do
who
you- because
may
it-
or may not be under control.
You're talking about liability, this is a
Yeah.
big dog,
Right. No, we
you
want,
know,
to
so.
know that, we want to know that, so let him know and just
Roxy.
kindly say, you know, I'm seeing
The
this
black and
dog,
white
it's
dog.
in
I
this-
know which dog.
Yeah.
Talk
And
about it.
if you can,
Talking
again,
about
if you can
liability.
say, what unit is it in, and at what time are you seeing the dog? And
Yeah.
we can kind of look it up then.
So if I'm complaining about my neighbor's dog, you need to know what unit that is? Or-
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
so-
though, that's a little harder, because we don't have cameras there.
Right, we don't have
But-
cameras.
but if-
Cameras
if-
maybe fit in?
What's it, you know,
Can't you
it's a
put
big
cameras in
challenge,
the
we've
parking lot?
looked to have cameras, so that we're, in the scattered sites, we don't have power, our own power on those sites, because it's except for the street lights, which are, you know, Northwestern Energy, we don't have any power. All the power on the scattered sites are resident power, so we can't plug into your power and charge, you know, our cameras, so. We have looked at, and there is you can do kind of temporary power for a temporary camera solution, but you can't have ongoing. But here, you know, we have pretty much, in lots of Stewart
Yeah.
homes, most of Stewart homes is covered here. There's probably every inch of the building and in the grounds we can, you know, if something happens, we can pull it up and see it. So it's good to know the date and time. Okay.
Two more
I know
things I'd
you
like to
guys have
say
do
about
your
the
election
dogs.
stuff.
Yeah.
You could video or take a picture.
I don't already have my phone available when I see it. It's usually
Then
when I'm
start
doing
taking your phone with
But
you.
if there's a, you know, if it's
Okay,
like
that's
a
the
not
first
safe,
thing.
there's kind of stuff going
I'm
on.
afraid to try to video it.
Yeah.
You'd be afraid to?
I'm afraid.
And so you can let your property
It's even
manager know,
worse.
it's like, you know, there's this dog, it doesn't seem safe, it's not on a leash. It's,
Well,
you
he's
know,
on a
all
leash,
that kind of
but
stuff.
the goat can be, you know,
Yeah.
it's not really. I forgot about
Well, I really think there needs to be some consequences. I mean, you said sometimes people get evicted because of their dogs, okay? Well, we've got all these little minor things that are happening that are adding up.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be some kind of consequence, some kind of fine. You only get 2 warnings and then this happens. There has to be something, because this is not working.
When I first moved in 2002, we were told if you didn't clean up your dog mess or in whatever mess, cat mess, you get kicked out or you get fined $25 or whatever it was. Do they still do that?
We haven't fined people. I'm not familiar with that being a practice here.
That was when I first moved in 2002. I don't remember when you started.
It wasn't like it was dogs.
Okay, whoever it was.
Well, like we talked about earlier, maybe housing can do a reminder letter. I mean, I don't think they can
But
do
the
a
key-
whole lot
The key
more.
thing is, we really appreciate everyone who's a responsible dog owner. You're gonna have a
Or cat
dog,
owner,
or a
because
cat owner, I don't wanna,
sometimes a cat
I don't wanna
does
discriminate
have
against cats either. Good
All
conversation.
right, we do,
One last thing, the power out there in the poles for the parking spots, I know one side has it, but the other side doesn't. Has that been that way all along, or is that just since the parking lot?
What,
The
there's lights,
plug-ins.
the lights aren't working?
No,
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 the plug-ins
the plug-ins
for
to plug
cars.
your cars into.
They will set you guys
Okay. They're not working?
They're working on this side close to the building, but they're not working on the far side.
I thought each department had one about her.
You know, I really don't know. So you're saying up along the sidewalk, but you were saying there's plug.
Well, I've been told by multiple people who have cars on that side. I haven't needed to use it, but it's like I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna wanna get after the winter, I'm gonna get my shop vac out and vacuum it up in the car and got that plug in there. But I've heard from several people on that side that there's no power. I'll check it and let you know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it works. Generally, if we're providing power, if it doesn't work, that would be a finding, so I would imagine it's working, but I really
Well,
don't.
I'll check it and let you know and follow up if you will.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go into our last
But
subject.
you're saying on the
Oh.
south end of the parking lot?
Yep. Yep.
Tina, bring it on.
All right, I'm supposed to explain elections. Everybody knows what an election is, and RMC wants to mail out nominations first, correct?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Michael, is that correct?
Well,
The nomination letters, or how, I
Well,
don't know how you
think-
guys did
Well, I
before.
think that's what you need to decide tonight. So,
Oh.
what they're doing is that, in practice, and it is kind of in the bylaws, is that your terms are every 2 years, so this is a biennial election. And so, and you're to run, a fair and, under this federal law that governs resident management councils, you must assure fair and frequent elections of resident council members. At least every 3 years, we're doing it every 2 years, which is good. One of the things they say is that you should have a process that allows for 30 days between nomination and elections. And so following that, you would kind of do nominations in March and then do elections in April.
Yeah,
Is the way
exactly.
you do that. So the piece about how to do nominations, you have some control here. It's like, now if you send out nomination sheets, one of the things, do you want people to actually attend a meeting to make a nomination? You do need to notify all the residents that because all residents are eligible. But I think one thing is that having people run for an office, if they've never been to a meeting, they should at least attend the meeting where nominations, they want to be a nominee, so you have a meeting where nominations are made, and then it can come and they can even nominate themselves. But you then have a process for doing the nominations, and then you do elections. And again, it's probably best to,
That sounds like 3 mailings to me.
no, you can do it in one mailing
No,
and explain.
yeah,
You can explain it, and then the election is held, the nominations are held, and then the next meeting you have the elections, and that but if you send out one mailing that explains that process, and then they can either, and since you're using Zoom, they can be on Zoom perhaps and make a nomination, and perhaps how they vote, if people are here, you have, ballots, and
it can be all in one mailing. They have to attend, they can choose, as I understand now, they get the one letter saying, this is what we're doing, come to the meeting, you can nominate yourself or nominate somebody else, but suggestion is people should be interested in coming to meetings anyway. And then the date is in there when the actual election is gonna be held, they have to come and do the election, correct?
Right. And
Okay, good.
I would suggest a mailing, that you send out, well in advance of the March meeting.
Yeah.
And it's, on one side of it, here's the job description, so you guys can pass that.
Okay,
And then, so people know what the RMC is a brief description of what the RMC is, and then what the positions are.
So make sure, talk to everybody you know. We want everybody
I'll explain.
have that chance of if they want to act as an officer in the building. So, yeah, don't forget to sign. Sorry.
What's, I put your name down already. What's your apartment number? Mateo apartment? Are you in 604?
604, 605, what?
Okay, I put your name on there.
And so, as part of the nomination, you know, people can then say, yes, I accept nomination. And then maybe you even have, the night you do your election, people can have 2 minutes to say why they want to be part of RMC.
Yes.
And a lot of years, it's not like there's usually like, you know, there aren't $1 million television ads saying, vote for, you know, it's usually straightforward. Remember, it's kind of a servant leadership is what we got here. You're volunteering to be a leader of help putting on something that benefits all the residents. And so sometimes, you know, there may be a couple people running for it out. Sometimes it's just like you want everyone to know who's going to be your elected leadership, and that allows that to happen.
So we need to get a mailing out as soon as we can. And in that
And it
mailing,
has to be, yeah, you want to
would
be.
they have the agenda of the RMC meeting too? Okay, okay. That would be nice to have it all in one like
And if you
that.
want, yeah, I mean, if you want, you could end up with a second mailing if you want to, just a reminder for April, but if you put
That's
out
what I
something.
think we're gonna need to
Yeah,
do.
so if you put out something in March that explains the whole process and has, you know, what you're doing and all that, and you can have the March agenda, you know, maybe put together in advance of that.
So the
And-
March agenda, excuse me, would be the actual nominating
Yes,
people.
people would come in, that,
People
you're gonna be.
would, if you wanna be nominated, or you wanna run, or you wanna
Yeah,
nominate
that's
somebody,
right.
come to
the
that meeting.
Come to the meeting or.
Come to March or
If you
Zoom.
want, or Zoom, because some people maybe can't come here, but they need to, you know, you can't elect people.
They need
One-
to attend.
The other thing that's what's the basic requirement of being on the RMC?
You're a resident of
You have to
Rankin
be
County.
a resident. So there's a lot of people that, you know, it's like, what are they doing? Are they, you know, so one of the things that happens between the nomination and election period is like, are they, you know, are they?
Well, that's important, it
Yeah,
doesn't say it
yeah.
here,
You know, I think it says something
I
along.
thought it was on.
in good
Doesn't say
standing.
it, it might.
In good standing,
Okay.
But
we had a situation here, not an RMC, but on the NEA building, when someone who really wasn't a resident got elected.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
They were a caregiver, yeah.
Oh,
oh, that's funny.
that's interesting.
So, I just want to do the quote that is on the bottom here. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. I mean, I just got goosebumps reading that. I mean, the world would be a better place if people were nice. Yay!
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All these things we talk about, being kind is being responsible, being respectful. I mean, that's all in there, so.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
I have two things for you. One is pay your rent, people.
What?
Pay your rent.
Pay
Oh.
Please pay your rent. If you need help paying your rent, it's resources.
Yes.
Michael, it's girls that want to not people not paying their rent. Yeah, I've seen it over my years of 20 years of people went into the management. Pay you guys. Pay you rent. Second is marijuana. What is the thing about marijuana? I have smoked it on several sites and, you know, called the proper people, including your office. What is the,
Marijuana is not allowed in federally assisted housing.
Neither is smoking.
But it's everywhere.
It's
Yep.
everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
here, it's in this
It's
building.
everywhere.
It's all over this building.
Yeah.
But it's still, it is, and so again,
You have to
people get
catch them.
evicted.
You have to catch them
Well,
first.
you know, and their paraphernalia and all this stuff. It's-
Yeah.
But people will say, oh, but it's legal. It's like,
yeah,
And so we say, it's not legal in this building or on our property. You guys
Right,
smoke it
it's
somewhere else
okay.
or somewhere else, but it's not.
So what happens?
But smoking in general is not here, and we
Right.
struggle. I mean, all these things, everyone, it relies on people following the rules. I think by and large, people do a much better job. Something like smoking took a lot of time. People still are smoking where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But generally, people are stepping out. Even if it's someplace that Stewart Homes, many times people have to walk out. I just can tell. I'm walking in. I come in about 7:15. I'm walking and I see people standing all along right on the outskirts. And certainly going outside is better than smoking in your unit. But if you're smoking in your unit, you're going to end up with a huge bill at the very least when you move out, because it's thousands of dollars to deal with it.
It's
Oh, wow.
It's like,
For me specifically at Camelot Court, since I've been there since 2002, they were smoking in the units still.
Yeah.
My walls run round still.
we all do.
But I watch them
Yeah,
from the
we
top.
all do.
And then he had been going outside to the parking lot to smoke where he's supposed to, in less than 5 feet.
I don't smoke.
What is it? Is it supposed to be your porch or,
No.
No, not
Technically, you're off the grounds,
off the property,
off
right?
the property,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
usually you should walk to the sidewalk.
We tried having him go to the front sidewalk and our next door neighbors who's not housing said no.
Yeah.
So he goes out to the garbage cans and smokes out that way. That's right. I know people that smoke on their porch all the time. And this one guy is smoking marijuana all the time. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
should not be smoking on HHA property.
What?
You're probably doing a better job if you're
Well,
smoking
no,
outside than you
federal
are
housing,
smoking inside of
absolutely.
unit.
All
How
Right.
do you enforce it?
Yeah, what do you do?
Again, if we become aware of, we see it, we act on it. But again, can you understand? There's lots of
right
rules.
next to the
And
grass, it's public property.
what happens, folks who don't follow the rules, is that they're not following a bunch of rules. And so it's preponderance of those kind of rule-breaking behavior that leads to people being evicted. And people being evicted, we don't want to evict people, we want people to follow the rules.
Right.
We point out, you're not following the rules, you send notice, and if they go,
So I just call the
Forget-
property manager and say, I know he's smoking here. I know he has.
and it's kind of hard sometimes to capture it.
It's hard to
you know,
prove,
Capture
yeah.
it, but
It's
things
hard to
like,
prove.
it's like, particularly if people smoking inside a unit is very problematic because it's
Dangerous.
and smoking.
Dangerous.
I think people generally here, I see a lot of folks who have a lot of health challenges. Technically, are they off HHA property? They're as far off the grounds, and I appreciate the effort people have to make to do that. We do that, one, smoking damages. It also
Yeah.
causes, as you point out, extremely damages buildings, and it's so expensive. So when we take back a unit that's been smoked and we scrub the walls and we do what's called kills it, and which is seals the
You
paint.
can do that to my apartment, because I clean and it runs from.
Well, you said you were there in 2002,
Yeah.
I can tell you what we do now.
One quick
Go ahead.
question, Michael.
Yeah.
Some states are starting to do a 24-hour then a swab to find illegal drugs being used in their facilities.
What was that? I didn't hear.
Marijuana to methamphetamines.
A
Is there
swab?
been a problem with that?
Oh, we can go back to that.
Oh, the wall swap? Woohoo!
One thing I have seen, I go to these housing meetings and the vendors are there. There's some new technology that will, you put it in the unit and if people smoke, it
It
will.
lets something know.
Well, it says date and time when,
Ooh.
I have no idea what that costs,
Yeah.
but we will not,
Yeah.
swabbing, there's all kinds of, we're running a housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not a police state, we're not all that stuff. People should not be, again, if people are abusing substances, and particularly illegal substances, they are evicted for that. We do it all the time. We don't, again, I mean, it's kind of like lots of the tools we left with her. We're like, okay, we have this tiny little tap, 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 and then we have this big hammer. You know, that we don't have a bunch of tools. We talk, we try to encourage folks to follow the rules. We try to provide really decent, high quality, affordable homes. There's no place more affordable, and I think when people move into a unit, I have one rule, what we shoot for, would I live in the unit, and I almost can always say yes, yes, yes. And then, you know, I see the pictures, I look at every unit when it's finished, I see the pictures, they're beautiful. And so, you know, we would, you know, wish people, not all people would take care of their units.
Most people in this building follow the rules.
Yeah, follow rules.
They
I
do.
think that's the good point.
They
Most
do.
people,
Yes,
the
they
majority
do.
of folks, and we can get kind of wrapped around the axle about people who aren't following. And we're trying to follow those.
Yeah.
We're trying to catch up on those folks. And to be truthful, we're going to probably take a little harder line on things because we just do not have the luxury of putting up with folks, people not paying their rent.
No.
They will have to go. We set up a payment plan, and if you don't honor it, you gotta go. But that doesn't mean it's easy. People, you know, folks, I tell this because people think sometimes that we're omnipotent power and authority, you know, like the Great Oz. No, we spend thousands of dollars to even, you know, but even if it's people always, if they're not paying their rent, and maybe they have very little rent they're paying, they still have to pay rent because that's the fundamental deal.
Yeah.
And the other thing, you know, having people living with them who are not authorized.
But
Why that's a big deal is that they haven't gone through the screening and they aren't declaring their income, and that's not fair to everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would make people have an easier time of going into the parking lot or whatever if it was sanded or salted, whatever, in the wintertime.
they're not getting.
We're not getting in the back. We're not getting it in the back. I live in the back apartments.
You're not getting shoveled?
They either miss us for shoveling or they don't salt it after it's been wet and Pete will fall.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid he's almost
So-
60.
So we,
You need to keep.
so that, you know, so your site is our vendor, but then our trucks usually go and hit. Thing is about, we don't salt, we sand.
Or sand, yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
even on
not
the sidewalks.
Yeah. Hmm?
On the sidewalks. Our back sidewalk, our sidewalks.
So I
It's not getting,
Sometimes
Shoveled?
it's not getting shoveled, and if it doesn't get shoveled, then it's not getting, it's still wet and it's ice.
so if you have a situation where your walks aren't being shoveled and it's, you know, they have like 8 hours or something and it hasn't
Well,
been
I
done.
know on a weekend they can't do it, but.
No. We pay these guys well.
Really?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be there, they have not done that for years. Since Carrie was there.
I remember.
What do you mean?
Yeah, they haven't done, they'll do it once in a while, but they won't do it every time, and it's
What do you
not.
mean? What do you mean they don't do it every time?
They don't
They
do it,
don't
Michael.
shovel our blocks every time.
Even when I lived there, that was.
Well, you need to let us know because
I've told Valerie a couple times, but
well,
I.
I would have to, actually, believe it or not, we have cameras. The vendor takes pictures of before and after at a site, and that's how we track.
Also, they push off the snow from the parking lot onto the sidewalk out there, going to the.
But I think they have.
And believe it or not, every site has detailed where they're to put the snow, and on the sidewalks isn't one of the options. So if that's routinely occurring, if you see a situation, let us know. We'll document it and we tell the vendor. So we have a vendor who's paid well. I mean, it's ridiculous to what we have to pay. If you really want to make money, go buy yourself a truck and hire a bunch of guys. Yes, they make a lot more money than I do.
Is that like a hire a bunch of Mexicans?
Oh, ouch.